Day 93. Learn another language. Let me begin by saying I am incredibly, insanely lucky. This is nothing to do with me, purely to do with my parents and my privilege that I grew up speaking Spanish. As a matter of fact, my dad did not let us speak English in the house to really make sure that it was unconventional, but you know what, it worked. And here's the thing. I have a bachelor's degree in chemistry. I ran for Congress. I have a pretty substantial network that I've built up over the years. The number one skill that I possess is being able to speak Spanish. The most productive skill, and honestly, closely followed by, no, I'm not even gonna say it, but anyway, I will tell you right now I could literally do a long video talking about all of the ways that this has played out in my life and how it's benefited me. I have one very, very particular instance that I'm going to talk about. But before I talk about that, y'all know that sign language is another language, and I would say that that one might be even more useful than Spanish. Okay? Why? The thing that people don't realize about sign language, or maybe it's not, it's one of those things that's like so obvious that maybe it's not so obvious, is that sign language is visual, right? Because again, deaf people can't hear by definition. So that's translatable you get what I'm saying? Like that's translatable through many more different avenues than verbal speech, right? So I can be sitting here signing and you can receive my message. You don't need audio, right? You just need a video. One can argue, you can even, not really, but kind of do it in pictures, not really. So sign language would be a great place to start. That's where I'd start if I was going to learn another language. I'd give, anyway. So I'm going to tell you right now where this has played out in my life, and there's a reason why sounds like farting. There's a reason why again, it's been years since I've applied for a job, but why I would always put that skill almost at the very tippy top. And I will say one more thing before I tell the story. I know I'm getting to it, but in my current business, my tourism business, folks, one, I've never given a tour in Spanish and not been tipped fat. Two, you'd be surprised, there are no tour guides that speak Spanish, even in San Francisco, okay? Just throwing that out there. California, they all speak Spanish here. United States, I'm pretty sure it's the second most common language. Might be sign language. Anyway, I know, getting to it. So once upon a time, I was in college and my ex gave me driving school tickets because, again, growing up in San Francisco, I did not learn how to drive. So she gave me, it was literally one of the best, most useful presents I've ever been given. Not even gonna lie. So I meet with the guy. He comes and picks me up. And again, I'm just gonna be completely honest about the dynamics because you'll see why. But I thought this guy was Middle Eastern. I just assumed he was Middle Eastern. Like when he got out, he was almost as tall as me. And again, his features, I just thought it was Middle Eastern. So, we're chatting, getting to know each other. And then all of a sudden he gets a phone call and he starts talking in Spanish. And I was like, inside, I was like, oh, he's Latino. So after he hung up the phone, I remember this period for like 5 or 10 minutes where I was like, say something in Spanish, say something in Spanish, say something in Spanish. So finally, I worked up the nerve to say something in Spanish, and his entire demeanor changed. Once he realized that we were like, homies, folks, just to put it in a nutshell, I failed my first driving test, and he basically gave me all of this extra training to make sure I passed the second time for free. Like he did it. I paid for some of it, but he gave me a couple lessons for free. Y'all know that when you learn how to drive, they don't take you on the freeway, which is incredibly stupid. So he took me on the freeway. He made sure, and in Los Angeles, where I was living at the time, that was incredibly useful information. So I get that this won't necessarily translate to everyone, but what I'm getting at is that when you speak another language, it opens you up to a whole other culture and a whole other world of people who you could never before network with or communicate with. And even the process of learning that language, whether you're going to classes, whether you hire a tutor, etc., that will put you on the path to success And you will learn so much just through that. I'm not even talking about actually physically learning the language, but business skills and networking skills you will learn, that will all help you through this process of learning another language. So learn another language, folks.